In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can implement unaware native ads into your marketing strategy to help scale your ecom brand. Native ads have become one of the most popular ways to market over the last year or two for dropshipping stores. But as most things, this strategy has become increasingly more challenging to get off the ground because more people are aware of it. But recently, a new wave of native ads has started to take over the market, and I highly recommend you hop on this strategy now before it becomes less effective. In front of us here is a native ad that is written from the unaware perspective. My goal in today's video is to break down why this is working, how you can implement this, and more importantly, why you should do this now and not wait until it's too late. The only thing that I ask is as you're watching this video, if you gain any ounce of value or information that you otherwise didn't know, all I ask is that you just like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Okay, so we have a brand here that is using an unaware ad. I want to highlight some of the key components, and also in the description of this YouTube video, I'll leave a document of some of these unaware ads that you can simply copy and implement for your brand. So real quick, if you're not aware, copywriting can be broken down into 5 different stages of awareness levels. Basically, how informed is the reader about the product or problem you're trying to convey to them when you're writing your copy. Unaware is stage 1, and it's historically known as the hardest stage of awareness to kind of sell somebody something, because if they're unaware that they even have a problem, it's very hard to get them to want to take action to even solve the problem, which in this case would be your product. It's why most native copy is oftentimes written in problem or solution aware, sometimes even product aware, where the person already has a problem and it's just up to us with our copy to convey that they can solve that problem with our product. Unaware is a whole different ballgame. We're basically speaking to people that aren't even quite aware that they have a problem yet. And the goal with native ads, and why it's one of the most effective ways for beginners to start and scale dropshipping stores, is because it's very easy to create these creative strategies and these ads using Claude and some Higfield prompt to generate images to go alongside them. So this is really effective. You don't have to sit in, a room all day long trying to build out different video ads and script video ads and piece it together. You can just build a ton of long form copy, which comes from the perspective of a storytelling approach. Now, here's the kicker with unaware ads. These are very intricate ads that are super, super interesting. They read almost like a news article or some type of story or blog post, which catches the reader completely off guard and kind of actually lowers their sales guard that most people have when they're scrolling through on social media. So we have an ad here. Before we open this up and start reading it, keep in mind, what you're seeing now is exactly how the reader would see this on their feed. So it's important that we pay close attention to the dynamics that get the person to actually click on this ad. For one, we have a preview of the headline. In 1954, a Swiss biologist named Willy Bergerdorfer took a job at a US government ... See more. Along with that, we have the image. Zoom in a little bit here. U.S. Public Health Service, Rocky Mountain Laboratory. And then at the bottom here, this is the last thing someone sees before they decide to hit the see more button. What Pfizer doesn't want you to know. So this is obviously very interesting. If I'm scrolling through on Facebook and I'm trying to get my daily fix as a boomer in my 30s or 40s, boomers are not 30 years old. My apologies to anyone that's 30 years old. Boomers that are their 40s or 50s, if I'm trying to get my social media fix on Facebook and I come across this, I'm now a little bit interested in I want to poke my head around and see what this might be. I also see that the page is written from Ancient Remedies Co. So naturally speaking, unaware ads work really well when they're told from the perspective of a lost art or a secret that the government doesn't want you to know, or from an ancient remedy that another country or region uses that Americans may not know about, or whatever region may not know about. Right? It's this kind of untold truth that if you know, you know, and if you come across it, it's actually very useful and it can impact your life beneficially. So up to this point, we have no idea what this product is or what the problem is or who this is even being spoken to, but that's totally okay, because as we read more, we'll see some important facts and information that can help us gather some insight about what this product may be able to do for us. Also, real quick, it's super easy for me to find competitors and they're winning native ads using this tool here called Trend Track. I'll leave a link in the description where you can save 20% off for the first 3 months. Not only does it help you find winning products, but it allows you to scan through and get all the insights you need in the Facebook ad library, all with the click of a button. All right, so let's open this up and kind of go through. I'm not going to read through every single line. I'll leave this in the description here, but I want to highlight some of the key components that make this really well. In 1954, a Swiss biologist named Willy Billy, whatever, took a job at U.S. government facility in Montana called Rocky Mountains Laboratories. His assignment was to breed ticks that could carry disease. He worked on the tick program for 25 years. Lyme disease is named after him. The bacterium is called Borrelia burgdorferi. In a taped interview months before his death in 2014, he admitted on record to weaponizing the exact tick that carries Lyme. As New York Times obituary did not mention any of it, the U.S. Department of Defense has never commended it. So we need to start off with a really engaging, compelling story, right? So if I read this, regardless of the circumstances that I'm in, I'm intrigued by this, right? It's telling a almost realistic story that happened. I think this might actually be real, but they're telling and kind of highlighting a real event in time, and they're basically using a snapshot of what happened and highlighting the most compelling points, right? He tried to weaponize this thing. So I did not know any of that when my husband started getting sick. So automatically now I could start to see where the story's going. I know it now. I'm Kate. I'm 51, and I was an ER nurse for 26 years. I am a widow. So my husband David was 47 when he got bit. He was a high school history teacher and an avid fisherman. He was in a stand-up boat on Lake Champlain in Vermont in June of 2014, the same month William Bergerfer died. On the other side of the country, when he noticed a small red mark on his lower back after he came in from the water, he mentioned it to me because I'm a nurse. It was gone in 3 days. He forgot about it. So what works with these unaware ads is the ability to create a common enemy, right? And in this case, if you go on to read the rest of this, they highlight that the US government was trying to weaponize ticks. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think I actually have heard a story similar about this. I don't know the exact details behind it, but it does help to have an actual rooted story. I would highly recommend avoiding fabricating a fake story. Although this entire native copy is built off a made-up story, the details and the validity behind it should have some truth component to it. So I do believe this is real to some regard. Yep, so it seems like this guy actually is a real person that created some type of stuff for ticks and Lyme disease. Oh yeah, here you go. Lyme Disease Foundation. So it is rooted and built in on a true story, which does help this make it obviously more ethical for one, but also more believable, right? Because people can correlate and be able to look this up as well to validate that this is true. Now, as you go on to read throughout the rest of this, the whole goal of this is to take that compelling story that is real and create an enemy, which is oftentimes the government, right? The US government created this issue and they don't want us everyday Americans or everyday people. I know a lot of people watch my videos from all over the world, but goal is that us versus them mentality. And using that compelling story, you'll get points of this where, like this, for example, the guy worked at a Rocky Mountain Labs on ticks for the U.S. government from 1954 until his retirement in 1986. His division was founded by the Department of Defense in the late 1950s and 60s. The formal purpose was public health entomology. The newbie book documents that the informal purpose included breeding ticks that could carry pathogens, anthrax, brucellosis, sorry, my reading is not the best, tularemia, and other diseases that could be delivered by a small animal that was almost impossible for a human to detect on the ground. So now as I'm reading this, I can clearly see that they're highlighting and elevating these stories to create copy around the idea that the government created these ticks to have Lyme disease that are designed to obviously be weaponized, and this causes problems and causes people to lose their lives and be infected by this. So to avoid this problem, right, I'm pretty confident they're going to be selling some type of supplement here. To avoid this problem, this is what you can do to avoid the weaponized material that was created by the government. And we pull up their page here, lo and behold, tick drops. Okay, no surprise, it's a supplement, right? So the whole idea behind unaware ads is to just use a true rooted story to kind of build almost like a conspiracy that people will listen to. And it's a way of authority hacking almost, right? So one of the issues now with natives, some people report saying natives aren't as potent or as easy as it once was to get people to buy. It's not so much that, it's more so that like natural and like most things in this world, as time goes on, people become blinded by the same exact type of native copy. Everyone's using the same scripts and prompts to generate the same stories. So that's mostly what it is. It's not like natives is any less effective. It's storytelling at the end of the day. Stories will always be prevalent. What it is the type of story you tell to get someone to actually take action. So I think this strategy works well for any type of product. Doesn't have to be a supplement, but obviously supplements are the most competitive, which is why a lot of times I like to study people that are running natives to supplements, because if they're successfully able to run natives or any type of ad to a supplement brand, they must be in the top percent of creative strategists and media buyers. Because nowadays, you can't run a basic ad to try to get someone to buy some supplements. You got to be smart and really outthink your competition. So, the best people to study are people that are able to scale brands using natives to supplements, right? Like, that's some of the best people. So, we have another example here. Same kind of premise, right? In 1936, monastery in southern France was raided by local authorities. The monks had been running what amounted to an unlicensed clinic. Villagers from across the Languedoc region had been making pilgrimages to the monastery, some traveling 2 days on foot for treatment of joint pain, stiffness, and what we'd call now arthritis. So the authorities expected to find herbal tonics, unlicensed drugs, maybe opium. What they found instead were tuning forks. Dozens of them, hand forged, carefully calibrated, each one marked with a specific note the monks had been using for them for centuries, pressing the vibrating stems against swollen joints, stiff spines, and aching hands. So you might think everyone running this is running supplements. Well, no, not this brand. They're running these kind of tuning kind of pipes thing, or tuning forks, right? That kind of help as a way to regulate the nervous system, I believe, through tuning and noise. But this is another brand that's been running this ad for 36 days. It's ranked 12 out of 164, their top 7% ad, and they've been running it for, quite some time. So this is another ad. And what do we kind of find as a common theme between the two? They're using some type of black and white photo. They both start off with some type of in 1954, or in this case here, in 1936. Okay, and then they go on to create a common enemy. I believe they say it somewhere here. Hold on. My husband. Nope. I'm 63, arthritis in my hands, both knees, and my lower back. I was diagnosed 8 years ago, but the stiffness started long before that. A slow tightening that I attributed to age until the day I could not open a jar of pickles and realized my hands had become strangers. Boom. Okay, so they do a good job of actually just get straight into the problem. They don't actually even elevate a particular common enemy here. They just talk about the failed solutions that they've tried. Yeah, so yeah, they go straight into it, which is cool. So a different approach here to the story. So another type of unaware ad written from the perspective of a story, right? Same thing here, rate of 1936. Now, I recommend you go through and actually study up on these guys' ad library. I'll link it all for you guys so you can easily find them, but they have some really dope ad variations that they're creating here. Not every single one of them are the unaware ads, so you can just study and learn some of their other ads that they're doing, but those were definitely some really good ads. Because here's something that I'm also realizing: a lot of people that are running natives, they're creating their natives at one awareness level, and they're struggling to get consistent scale over time. And that's because you're not targeting multiple steps of the funnel. So it does help to have a little bit of unaware to problem aware, some problem aware to solution aware, and some solution aware even to product aware. We have a nice blend of different ads in your ad account that helps kind of build that tornado effect where you're getting a ton of different eyeballs on the brand and kind of bringing them throughout the funnel. So targeting on only one awareness level is just inefficient these days when it comes to marketing and being able to scale a brand. So really quick action steps. And by the way, I'll link like I mentioned, the ad libraries and the documents and everything will be, the stories rather, will be on this document linked in the description, free of charge, of course. So here's the simple step, right? Run this in a CBO campaign and create 5 ads under one ad set. So it's one CBO, start off at $100 a day, target one country or target multiple, up to you, and then just put 5 ads in that one ad set. That ad set will consist of 5 ads, each ad being its own story and its own image. So you're going to use a different picture per ad, right? So we want to test different stories and different images to see what our click-through rate, our CTRL rate looks like as well, CPM, CPCs. We want to kind of just gauge and kind of cast a wide net on that first 3-day test. After testing for a minimum of 3 days, we want to create an ad set variation, doubling down on the best performing ad. So you're literally going to use that same CBO campaign, create a new ad set that's a variation of the best performing ad that was in the original ad set. And I always like to add a new ad set and have 5 ads in that new ad set. And all that's going to look like is going in the CBO, duplicating the first ad set, and then deleting all the videos, or sorry, all the images in that first batch, and then create a new batch of 5 that all replicate or are similar to the best performing ad. Then you're just going to rinse and repeat that formula until you have a repeatable strategy that is proven to scale. And then what we want to do is double down on an advertorial campaign. So we don't want to initially send traffic to an advertorial right away, just because we're trying to establish the winning copy that we can directly sell to the product page. Then once we know what angle, what story, what approach works the best, then that's when we want to build an advertorial off of that and scale that advertorial. You can increase budgets $50 every day, every other day or so. I would avoid doubling budgets unless you're really confident and seeing really good metrics. And then you just scale from there. I review a ton of winning copy and proven strategies inside my school community. And we talk so much about scaling native ads. It's how I scaled my first brand to $300,000 a month. So if you want to be a part of an amazing community and get a ton of course material on how you can do the same, feel free to check out the school community link in the description down below. And as always, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.